Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Isles of Sea and Sky, where I came back to the initial island to look around a little bit. Or not the initial island, but the island where we got the orange powers. And I remembered this 20 Stargate, which obviously is very important, but we can't do anything with. But while looking around, I discovered this other gate over here that I had totally forgotten about that only requires 15 stars. So I guess let's see what the deal is with this. It goes onto a screen we've never seen before. Okay, if we manage to make it to that staircase down there, we get a star for it. That's cool. Don't really know what to do with that just yet. There's another star here, so we could potentially earn our way over to the 20 Stargate, but hold on. There's also, okay. That's valuable. It's interesting that we've never broken that green block over there. Wonder why. Anyway, let's try to piece this thing together. So, first things first, we got to figure out how to hold down this button over here long enough to hit this green arrow. So I'm going to have to do this with it. And then if we move a stopper here, will these guys get the job done? They will. Okay. And then we don't even need that necessarily to remain in that state, but at the very least, here's star number 19. So maybe there's some good progress to be made here after all. Now we need to figure out a way to hold down this button, and honestly, it might be. Let me reset the screen. Since these blocks stay down, we can do this part again without having to commit the crate. And then we can potentially do some other stuff with it. Like, it's not very difficult to get this crate to hold down that button for us. Okay. So now that we've got that done, okay. Now I just have to figure out how to access that. And unfortunately, leaving the screen now will reset things that matter. Not sure what... Yeah, not really sure what to do here. The golems don't, I believe, have any particular effect on the blue crystals, right? I guess we can find out. But I don't believe they destroy them. Oh no, they totally do. Okay, well that's information that we did not have until this moment. But I think that's sufficient for us to get to the stairs, which means that in fact... we now have the 20 stars we need for the other gate. There's another key over here as well, and I am interested in trying to get that. Is there value to this? Where does the staircase go? Well, you know what? Actually, while I'm thinking about it, let's run over here and down here and hit this. I don't really think that's like a huge amount of value, but it does just make walking around more convenient. Okay, so if we're going to get this key, how are we going to do it? The fact that the golems can be used to break the blue crystals probably is the answer. Right, like we actually do want to reform that. We want to come down here and ring this to get rid of that. Then we kick this golem this way. And then just send him back over there. Put this down here so that I'm able to get off of the key stand once we get onto it. That's what that hesitation was. I was like, wait a second, how am I going to escape? Okay, and this trip back to this island is turning out to have been very worthwhile. Well, I guess I might be speaking too soon. We don't know for sure that opening up this 20 Stargate is going to be good for, like, anything, right? What is this? We do not know. Oh. That's interesting. Up. Up. Okay, just match the screen, matched the sequence there. And that's given us half of a medallion of some kind. Okay. What do I do with that? So there's a bunch of places on the island where we lit up stuff like this. So we lit up this like right arrow, but there's not a right arrow in this code. So my assumption is that those places on the island where we lit stuff up, they're for something else, they're about something else. Also, I'm trying to make sure that I'm like walking on as many tiles as possible in case we can discover another music note, because they seem pretty important. Okay, is there anything else to do here? It is interesting that there's 11 of these crystals. If we go back up to the place where we turned on the giant power, he doesn't display any more symbols. Like, it doesn't suggest that we would get anything by bringing him 6 more. I don't know what those are supposed to be. Topazes, maybe? Orange gems, just kind of generally orange gems. It's also worth noting there's a couple of screens we don't have access to, and those might just be screens where there isn't anything. Oh, right, there's still this. There's still a key down here. But I wonder if it is not, in fact, the case that those screens can be accessed in some way via the underground. Okay, sorry for the jump cut there. I decided I wanted to try to do a little bit, like, I wanted to go through the rooms down here with a little bit more of a fine-tooth comb, and I thought, you know, y'all don't necessarily need to see me y'all don't need to watch me do the same things over and over. But I did discover this tunnel where we had left a secret passage that just had a blue rock in it before, so obviously it was untraversable when we were here earlier. With digging powers, I was able to get in here and discover a key, which I thoughtlessly picked up before starting the recording. So hey, a key. Aside from that, I think what I discovered is it really doesn't look to me like there's a lot else going on here. This is an area that's accessed via secret passage. I really wish it would draw the secret passages on our map. But I don't know. I don't think these screens can be gotten to. I think these are just blank screens. These are just not traversable areas, which means that for the moment, I think there's really only one thing to do down here, and that's get that other key over here. Yeah, at this point, we're getting pretty close to actually having wrung this island completely dry of resources, although you have to assume there's going to be a 12th one of those gems. And I guess there's whatever's going on with the xylophone, right? We still don't have that. Well, okay, one problem at a time. Let's get this key, shall we? So we have a really limited number of approaches here. Like, really, because of the way the area is shaped and the fact that you can't access one side of it from the other side of it without leaving the screen, all we can really do is hit this from the right, which I guess actually is not... Maybe it's not actually a big problem. Looking at this with like even a couple seconds fresh eyes, all of a sudden I'm thinking, hey, we got this far with it before. That was pretty easy. But like, what if we just took that off of there now? And then we re-rock this and... Okay. Good. So with that done, let me actually go out through the bottom here. So this pathway's been here for a while. We couldn't easily traverse it before, although obviously we can now. I don't think it really like does very much. Have we been on this screen before? The map says we have. I do not remember this. Okay, well there was still one of these we haven't done, apparently. Oh, this is a pushable one, sorry. So it's gotta be... we're gonna have to get it out in the open before we can execute this sequence. Right? Up. Because if we tried to execute it from where it started, we'd get it stuck in the corner before we could press it down. Is that good enough? Okay, yeah, that's good enough. You have to hit the 4 things in order. You don't have to hit them in order from the starting position. Okay, so we... Okay, what is that? What do you... But what even is that, though? So we have all these other sequences where we've just pressed down a button and it's made a sequence of button presses appear, and I don't really know what to do with these. I just tried executing those button presses. See if yeah, it doesn't do anything. Okay. Well, that's all weird. I have no idea what this disc is for. Or, well, there is a weird thing on the island, isn't there? I'm over by that right now, aren't I? Yeah. Is this disc for this? It probably is. Okay, I'm glad we came back here. Although, I guess that's... all that is stuff that I didn't particularly need. I mean, like, I'm not, you know, poo-pooing extra stars. Obviously, we will get value out of extra stars eventually. I kind of thought it was going to be... Okay. Well, you know, what we got is keys. Okay, so there's still some stuff that I haven't really figured out yet, right? Like, what is the meaning of these blocks in all these other places? Am I supposed to combine them? Like, maybe they are meant to be combined into a larger code that is then executed on a particular screen. I don't know how I would know where to do that, but I mean, they gotta be for something, right? I'm never sure with these games whether I'm like sort of jumping at shadows. That feels like it should be accessible too, doesn't it? Nothing in this room is showing the indications of secret passages, but that really feels like a thing that ought to be accessible. I didn't miss anything over here, did I? It's so weird that there's one tile visible in the bottom left there. So obviously when I was looking around earlier, I was looking around at mostly those top tiles. I'm feeling a little silly now because of all the shit that I missed. And ended up just doing the thing I said I was going to try not to do and dragging y'all through it anyway. Yeah, okay. I don't know how to access any of that or if it is indeed accessible, but it feels like it ought to be. So this is just the star, right? Yeah, it's just the star. So, okay, yeah, that screen... Oh, right, that screen's accessible from up here. In theory. Because at some point we'll be able to do something with this. Yeah, okay. I wish I felt like I had a better idea of what we might still be looking for. And again, like, I'm definitely thinking about the music note and the fact that so far we have found all of our notes by just like walking on random tiles. If there is a way to know where these things are, I sure as heck don't know what it is. And there's a lot of tiles that are, you know, in this environment that you would not necessarily walk on naturally. Stuff that's out of the way in various ways, so... Okay. Nothing here, but this would have been a good place for it, right? So, at 21 stars and 4 keys, I don't believe we've actually opened up any new paths anywhere, right? Not that I remember, but then I didn't remember a bunch of stuff on this island either. If we want to sail around, I know there was a thing that opened at 30 stars. I'm just gonna like, my assumption is... I did not notice this like Eye of Horus on the ground here, although I probably should have. What I did notice was the way the grass was peeled back at the top of that staircase. So that's interesting. Okay, nothing special in any of the tiles around here. Alright, the game does reward closer examination. I guess this note tile is just directly on the screen. I just didn't notice that it lit things up when I first got it. Well, just looking around for any additional help that I might receive. Okay, so there's still whatever's going on here. We do not yet know. And as far as we can tell, now that I have that blackstone, there really isn't a lot else going on here. We're not going to be able to do the whatever it is that requires moving rocks around. Being more thorough with this place has yielded a lot, though, and it does make me wonder about... it does make me wonder a little bit about how we would fare going back to the other islands and being thorough again. Although I guess on most of them, we just haven't gotten any value yet. Okay, so I see. Hold on. So the first note is orange, actually. I thought it was telling us that the first note was blue because it was drawing the first note on, but I guess on the staff that draws a little more coral. Okay, so we know that note is orange. I do not know what to do with that. I do not see how we can possibly get anything out of that at the moment. Okay, right, and this is just a big weird... Wait, is this? Yes. Alright, I need to look more carefully at these. Because you absolutely can see which ones have paths coming off of them. But that doesn't mean I always do. In my defense, I guess, like very limited defense, there's a lot going on a lot of these screens. It's hard to watch for stuff. There's a lot to watch for. And then obviously there is something across there. You can see some sleeping Z's in the wall, but we just don't have the ability to cross that water yet. We are presumably, like, we know where there are some flippers. In the one sense, I really like a game that encourages you to come back and see old areas in new ways. That's rad. In another sense, I'm a little worried about the amount of come back and look at the same things this game is expecting from us. Feels like a lot, sorta. Alright, so we can't actually get out of this screen anywhere except right here. Not allowed to bring up my map. So there's something over there probably. This is weird, but not like actionably so. And this just goes to here. Okay. So it is probably the case that the only thing that's left on this island is whatever is to the right beyond this green block. Okay. Trying to approach this kind of systematically. I do think it's interesting to note that the fact that we picked up that big plate that we put into the wall, the plate was still appearing on. See, that one's sleeping too. That's interesting. The plate was appearing in the top bar while we were on that island, but it's clearly an item the other islands simply do not care about. I don't think there's a way. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem to me like there's a way for us to do anything there. You would think the turtle could just approach the island from a different side. Yeah, there's that, but we don't know what to do with that. This requires 49 stars, which I remember. Just trying to be thorough. Visit each island again, one by one. Wait, can this be accessed? No, okay. Alright, and this is just some kind of interaction that we don't have any of the pieces for yet. And no shallow water anywhere. Okay, is there anything else? Any of these other little ones that might have something of value for us? This one requires some kind of tech we don't have. Moving big blocks. Okay, this is actually 21 stars. I did not remember that this gate was going to become openable at this point. Although it does look like there's nothing here except another star. Unless there's stuff behind the waterfalls. But it kind of looks like there is not, in fact. Okay, so what are we going to do? We can push this through to there, allowing me to telefrag myself. Pretty sick. What if... Well, that doesn't help. I was going to say, what if we put the wood block on there first, and then we push the metal block through afterward? Wouldn't that be very helpful? But the answer is no. What happens if I push the metal block through and then push the wood block through? Okay, nothing. Nothing of value occurs. And I can't get the wood block through from any other angle. If we could get in there, this would be our 6th blue stone, and that seems pretty significant. But unfortunately, I don't really know what to make of it. So I can pull this down here. If I push this along this way, and then do this... Oh, right, except I still can't walk through that, and this is not any more helpful. I was like, oh good, it'll stop me from slamming into the metal box, but that was never the problem. It would probably be slightly better for me to play these not so late in the day. I keep coming back to this game sort of like at the end of my day. Partially to relax, because, you know, puzzle games, they're fun and relaxing. It was very chill out sort of fun, but also there are other things, you know, they make you feel other things some of the time. Gosh, it really doesn't look like there's anything else to do here, does it? I can't push the metal block in any other direction. I still don't know if anything is up with these sort of pools of water. Yeah, they don't look like anything, and they don't seem to be anything, but they're weird art, right? There's a lot of environmental art where it's like quite difficult to tell if it is trying to communicate something to me or not. It feels like it could be something. There we go. Just feed it all of us. Thing is, I'm like so unconcerned about the button at this moment. It does not look to me like this is a puzzle where we would gain an ability that would help us later, but maybe I'm just not like... It feels to me like if I'm able to solve this, I should be able to solve it with what we have on us. But maybe we can manipulate these particular blue rocks in a way that's similar to like with the digging claws, with some other tool that we're somewhat close to earning. Also at this point, just like touching every wall out of desperation. Yeah, this really doesn't look like we should be able to do anything. There's no way to push... I'm saying wood. I'm sure it's still stone. There's no way to push the brown block through in such a way that it does anything other than just rocket out of the portal and immediately get shoved all the way to the right. So we're not going to be able to use it to block or anything. I mean, it would seem that the puzzle's impossible, but it only We only needed 21 stars to get in here, which also makes me feel like we should be able to do something about it now. Because, like, we're able to gain access to it now, right? Doesn't that suggest something? I just need a way... I need a way to move the thing again. But anything that comes through here just gets annihilated without damaging the block. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we still are missing some ability that's critical. Slowly, though. Slowly we are making progress. Slowly we are seeing new things. There is an Eye of Horus here. Have those Eyes of Horus always been present? Am I a fool for just now noticing them? Because if they've always been around, I do feel a little silly for not seeing them until just now. But I mean, there's a lot to pay attention to, and they're like they are with the graphics intentionally creating a bunch of visual noise in the tile set so that it is hard to see things that matter. That didn't really do anything for us as far as this puzzle goes, but it's cool to have another key, I guess. Not that loose keys were anywhere near our problem. I'm like slowing down, trying to make absolutely sure I'm seeing all of the stuff that is written on any tile. Just trying not to miss obvious messages. Well, obvious is a strong word, but you know what I mean. Trying not to miss messages in any case. Yeah, there's just... That was not intentional. Yeah, just all of this. Alright. Interesting stuff, but I suppose let's get back out of here. At the very least, now that I know to look for, faintly colored Eyes of Horus on the ground, that may well yield something of interest, right? That could potentially take us to somewhere new. Somewhere on some island. Now I feel like I have to analyze the ground, so we have to go everywhere again. It doesn't look like there's anything to see here. Obviously, that's a huge problem. Damn it, get through there. Okay. Again, just looking at taking a second here to really look at every single tile. I wonder what the method is going to be for making use of that red block, the one on the bottom. At any point, even with, abilities. Yeah, none of this... Oh, right, this has to be pushed off of the lava. None of this is looking particularly valuable to anybody. Just wondering if like actually walking the path drawn on the ground would be meaningful at all, but it sure doesn't seem to be. Take that, everything around that key. I don't even need a key. Like I'm not heartbroken about not being able to get that, but I am pretty bummed out about not being able to remove that lower red block. I am still wondering if there is some way to set up the kind of chain reaction that we would need to get behind that green block and destroy it, but it couldn't be done, right? It never could be done. Because how would we get a block down onto the space to the right of it? Yeah, at least as things stand now. Power set that we have at the moment and everything. I don't think this can be done. Yeah, okay. Pretty sure. So we don't know anything about the screen to the right of this one. And there's a way up that we can almost reach. I mean, that's kind of interesting. Is it possible for me to make a little bridge? Not really. I can hardly move any of the blocks I have access to. Yeah, I can move this in ways that don't help. And that's kind of it. Yeah, everything is very cunningly positioned. It's almost like they wanted this to feel like some kind of awkward and difficult puzzle or something. Very strange. Very odd stuff. Okay, still definitely no hidden eyes. Keys that we don't know how to get, but also we wouldn't care about them if we did know how to get them. Is it possible for me No, right? It never would be possible for us to get... I mean, I don't even know what the utility would be of getting metal blocks up here. But even if we were to destroy the Kevin stack in the center, getting a block like... What I was thinking is, if you could push a block left along this thing, past that, you could maybe use it to enter the lava fall there, but they won't move past the pedestal anyway. Yeah, not actually useful. This is just the summit. There's especially nothing useful at the summit. Unless there totally is something useful. Have I verified whether or not those things are explodable? I feel like I haven't. Unfortunately, there's not really a way to test it, is there? Is there a way to set this up so that I could cause an explosion, even? With the blocks that we have over here? What would that have to look like? I think the answer is no. I'm trying to construct in my head this sequence, right? Huh. Yes, thank you. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. I can almost... y'all, that almost... No, this does allow me to get something across, right? Because then I can push this up to here. I can step on this, drop that there, and then we can absolutely get whatever that metal is. Yo, this is something. Okay. That's what allows me to break the red blocks. That's incredible. I was so focused on this bottom left corner and trying to get to the gong and everything. All right, hold on. Having done that is going to open up this island in some kind of way. That doesn't change any of the other puzzles on this screen, right? Yeah, that red block wasn't doing anything vis-a-vis the rest of this garbage. Okay, well, come back. We just gained a whole new lease on life here. You know, I pride myself, and maybe this is like just entirely ridiculous pride, but I kind of pride myself on being fairly decent at these puzzle games, like you know, noticing things and obviously I don't see everything the first time. This is just gonna kill me. It sure is. Okay, good to know. But I feel like the amount of stuff that I have missed in this game is like... I shouldn't take it too seriously, and none of you should take this kind of stuff seriously either. It doesn't mean anything about you if you are not good at, like, seeing these things quickly or you know, doing whatever in a video game. But it does, I am set up for it, for it to sting my pride. I am set up to think like, hey, what's wrong with me that I'm not seeing all these? I put myself in the position to feel bad. Okay, so it's like we could... How am I going to get these where I want them to be? Well, hold on. If I do this, it won't go off if it falls in the lava prior to exploding. Yeah. And then... Well, I was gonna say, and then we could use this block to hold the thing down by pushing it along the same path. That's not actually exactly true. So I need to push this down to here and then shove it back. And now we can do this in a way where this will only gain 3 points of heat. And all of a sudden, there we go. Breaking red blocks, already paying off huge. Okay, so that's going to give me access to the north side of the room, but I have to be a little bit careful how I take it. I mean, for right now... I'm trying to figure out how I would... Let me reset this. Trying to figure out how I would access this. Like, Because we just need to get into the space below that upward pointing green block, right? So I'm trying to think like, how do we get past this line of 3 blocks without losing too many of them? And the answer might be this. Now, when we step off of this pad that we're on now, it's going to disappear. Then when we step off this one, this is also going to disappear. So I think we step up here. We... How am I going to do this? Okay. If I push this up, this to the right, I create the bridge at this height. We can shove this thing out in order to create this bridge here, which allows us to push this block along this side and do that. It doesn't get us the blue gong, but also it doesn't need to. We can't interact with these, but like the whole point was just getting up here, right? Okay, bird symbol again. And that could be a critically important redstone. For all we know, this might be the only accessible one. I think I was just like, I was very focused on trying to get the power from the big god statue thing before figuring out how to break the blocks, because that's the way it's sequenced on the first island, if I remember correctly. So I don't think I was paying enough attention to necessarily like some of the more important things. So we can set off like a wild chain reaction, right? I'm trying to figure out if I think this is valuable. Oh, I definitely don't want to do that. That does kill me. I'm just going to walk back and forth here and see what happens. Okay. That's not going to work. Right. So the thing is, I need this as a place to stand. Once we step off of it, though, we are doomed. So it's like we could destroy... Can't really do much to the wood block. I can absolutely... No, I can't. Never mind. I was going to say I can absolutely prevent that block from falling into the pit space, but I can't actually, because if I step up close enough to it to push it, well, yeah, if I do that, we're just going to end up dead. It's like these 2 steps are absolutely necessary. There's no other way for us to enter the puzzle, right? Unless there's something else about this that I don't see. What we just did there had to be done. Now we have to be extremely careful. We can step in more than 2 spaces only once. And then from there, all we can do is run back here or run forward to the position next to the hole, which is kind of unrecoverable. It feels to me like if we could get that block that's next to the green circle up one space, then the explosions would cause it to shift over to the right and then blow up the block above it, pushing it maybe over the pit, because it does push them. Well, no, it's not gonna. It's just gonna fall in the pit, I'm sure. I was thinking that could be a way to get up to the top area, get the explosions up to the top area at least, so that we can move through. But actually, it's almost certainly not going to work, right? Plus, we literally can't do it. I mean, that I think hurts it as a plan as well. Right, and now I'm dead. If we had the ability to make it back one more space. Yeah, it would do stuff, but we don't have the ability, so... One, two... So this doesn't work. Yeah, and so like the obvious thing here is if we were to make it to the space to just below the hole, to the right of those pine cones, then we would be able to, once all the things have blown up and everything's destroyed, we would be able to step around the pine cones to the left where the orange box, the brown box currently is, because that spot is safe and it would only be 3 tiles away from where we're standing. So actually maybe it is enough to just stand on this safely, but I can't pass time, right? So it's like push you, step back, step in, go to here, push that. I don't even know if it's worth pushing the block above us right now, because we can just do this. And then that, which causes another explosion. Oh no! I did not realize that the space was going to have a spike trap on it. That's actually really a huge issue. Unless this space is not lava, which we know that it is, this makes the puzzle impossible, right? So now it would seem that the only way to get anything done here is to fill in that hole somehow. Which I suppose it must be noted cannot be done. The only thing in the whole room that could actually fill that in and make it traversable is the wood block, which can't be reached. Even if we did find some way, like, there's no way to get rid of the blocks on either side of it without detonating them, and detonating them will cause them to detonate the brown block as well. So... Alright, let's look around. Maybe we can come back to this one. Maybe we can do something else to get our... Oh, hey now. What is that? That looks important. What? Oh, this requires the 3 red keys. I was like, hey, 3 keys. We did it. We're living the dream. Okay, there was a faint outline on the tile before I stepped on it. It's not just any tile. There's a little bit of information. A little bit of prevision. Okay, well this is not awesome. I mean, there's fucking fire armor over there. That seems pretty critically important. Yeah, okay, so maybe the thing that's actually going to happen here is we're going to be given an ability to survive more fire contact than we currently have. Alright, for the moment, let's... And I mean, that makes sense, right? That would make this solvable. Let's run around the island a little bit more and look for more opportunities to break red blocks. I'm not certain that we can't do the puzzle I was just looking at, but I am certain that I don't know how to do it right this second. So let's just go and explore a little bit. Okay, we haven't actually been either of the directions that this goes. This is interesting, but the rewards aren't any of the kinds of things that we need. Okay, got another one of you. Oh, and another kind of enemy over here as well. Huh. It is more than a little bit of a bummer that there's like some element of real time to that. Because I did have to run past like the lava blob enemy there before it set up. It was definitely not like waiting its turn politely like they're supposed to do. Okay, I think we can get this kill here. Oh, you suck. Can I get back enough to... Yeah, I'm just gonna have to deal with this though. Okay, there we go. Yep, of course. Of course. So... a lot of these enemies are very annoying. Okay, so I see this one. Alright, hold on. If he does that, I have to... No, I just can't push this block yet. It's really important that that not happen. Alright. So that'll cover you up there. And then we just gotta deal with this last guy. And we do that by pushing this up here. Nope. Okay. Sorry, I gotta be a little bit more efficient with my movements. Alright, then that's gonna push the block over to cover you. What a very annoying enemy. In any case, red key number 2, and we've almost got something that seems just incredibly useful. So very useful. Let's go ahead and pop that, although that doesn't need to be done from that side necessarily. What's over here? Some stuff that might be handy. We have not been on the screen to the right. Does it look like there's a way to actually get to this gem? The answer is no, it does not. Okay, well we can do some stuff that's probably going to be important for this puzzle. Up here, it looks like. So I can, at the very least, unlock this, which lets us pretty freely get up and down. And then the idea here is like you would want to push this block into the purple thing. But the problem is there's no way to get around behind it without stepping on this. When you push the block through the green portal, it's going to come out moving leftward, and then we're going to have to follow it and quickly push it up onto this space in order to destroy the big block. Or maybe not. You know what? Maybe that's not even doable. All right. I think what I have to do is figure out a way to... overheat these without overheating myself. One, two, three, four. It's not actually going to be super safe to push that way. Now that's a... What am I doing? That corners it. So we can push this across without actually losing it. This isn't going to push... The explosion here is not going to push this far enough. Yeah. It's an interesting idea, but it's not quite there. All right, I do like this. It becomes harder to interact with after that. I mean, I can certainly push it upward. That doesn't feel very useful. Yeah, a big problem with pushing it to that location is like the only way... All right, let me try to get over to this corner without having to push this other block up. Right, because now I can go 1, 2, push, 3, safe. And so now if I were to push this up next to it, it's still not good enough. So the first block only moves the one time. Okay, but what if I do just push it off to safety then? And this block provides all the explosive force. Can I make that work? I'm trying to figure out what my footpath is going to be. Because obviously if I press this up... Yeah. I can't push it if I have to run away from it at all. I have no idea how I'm going to get this other one to my left either. It's like it's easy enough to set that block up there, which is obviously what you got to do. But then... It feels to me like that one requires this wood block to be out of the way. Because you're going to have to be able to push a block down from above in the space to the left of the obsidian block. So I can take the heat off this block by doing... Sorry, that's getting a little ahead of myself. By doing this. We can transport it over to here. And then I can heat it in a different direction now. So we could go like this, cool off, this, and let me reset one more time, and then go 1, 2. Yeah, but I can't keep following. This is really, really close to working, and I can't keep following. I need to be able to step one more time. Okay, well that seems useful. That was worth doing while I was looking at it, I suppose. Oh, this is so frustrating. I feel like I'm really close. Now I'm looking at pushing things through the green portal and wondering if I can actually make some version of that work. Right, because I can just get down behind this, push it left, and follow it all the way through the portal, and that just functions. Push this through to here. Right? And then if I push this across, it lights up, but I get to follow it. Oh, that explosion destroys... It destroys the floor of the space. It doesn't cause the block to... Damn it. All right, hold on. I didn't realize that couldn't just sit on there. Because, you know, most things, generally, your shit doesn't fall through those unless you... unless you make it. Right, unless you... the platform under the thing stays under there until you move off of it. So... let me try a little something different here. Like, maybe the idea is to make this not matter. Nope, it comes through and it immediately detonates the thing. Shit. So, like... but if I leave it here... when I push the block through, the block does go left before exploding, right? Yes. So we just don't get an explosion at all. Obviously, there's no other way to push anything through. Now we could, obviously, with all of our blocks working in tandem, create this situation, which allows me to run this through and actually damages the not Kevin, but it's only 1 damage, and then we don't have any tools left to damage it again. So I can't afford to use my stuff so aggressively. There's no way we could get this block back up there, at least not as far as we know. It really sucks that the block falls through the space before exploding, even though it was going to explode as soon as it moved into that space. Otherwise, like, there being a hole there creates extra time. From a puzzling perspective, I would describe that as somewhat unintuitive. It feels to me like I should be able to get one of these top left 2 gems, and we would only have to get 1. Get 1 is totally sufficient. All we have to do is engineer an explosion that hits next to that top left block. Why is this so hard to do? I'm trying to figure out, like, what are all the positions from which... Oh, I feel a little silly. Hold on. This works, right? So if I put this here, I can't get a block to end up here exploding, but I could absolutely get this block to end up exploding on the space that I just pushed the brown block off of. Hey, that solves that problem, like, really cleanly. Just forgetting to push the other block. Ugh. All right. So at this point, we can go get ourselves a power-up, and that may resolve, potentially, other stuff. Let's go... I was about to try to, like, cross this, and I was annoyed that it's like, oh, I overstepped. Come on. But if I hadn't overstepped to the left, I would have just died on the spikes. It doesn't actually make it any easier to get up there. That's a well-defended little pathway there. Okay. Is this the right? No, I want to be on the screen to the left. And you know what? I just realized what time it is and how long I've been playing. So, hey, progress. Progress feels pretty okay, right? I think that's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. When you come back next time, we are finally going to receive the red statue's power. And who knows what that will enable us to do. And we'll see you then.